Malick was very good in drawing, and from the way he describes his work, he was more interested in drawing. And then after the secondary school, a Frenchman asked him to come and be an assistant in the studio. And that's how he basically became a photographer. You're talking about roughly 65 to 1970. And this is the time when popular culture was reaching us with rock and roll, with the Rolling Stones, James Brown, and the Beatles. We were living under a socialist regime, and the youth, by embracing world youth culture of rock and roll, both the music and the dress style and the mental attitude, we were rebelling against these military regimes and these socialist regimes. Malick Sidibé came at a time when we wanted to define ourselves as part of that world youth. Because it's one thing to get your bell-bottom pants, but if you don't take your photograph with it, then nobody knows. But if you take a photograph with it, with Malick Sidibé, then you suddenly exist. You suddenly, what we call in French, jeune premier. You know, you are hip. This guy was copying us as we were copying the rock groups. And then he was suddenly reproducing us as rock groups ourselves. He was learning from the best photographers in the world, because Aretha Franklin was photographed by Avedon, Andy Warhol, and people like that. So he was learning that without having gone to a photography school. Malick listened to the youth and learned from the youth. He understood the music. He had an ear for the music. He anticipated what kind of move you will be making before you even make it, what the music is playing. He understood light. He knew where to stand in relation to the subject. He understood framing. So Malick would look at, he doesn't just say yes, yes, yes. He would look at the album cover, and then he would tell you, okay, stand like this, and he will take your picture.
Courant qui est peut-être le parfum, on va sentir ça à la photo. Ça aussi, c'est une certaine possibilité, quoi.
Africans love photography so much that some women, men, when they come here to take their pictures, they put on perfume and then come and take the picture, hoping that people will smell the perfume on the picture. The photograph cost, I'm saying, less than a quarter. And it was not for the privileged people. But in those days, frankly, photography was not considered an art form. The artist label came literally, I would say, like 20 years later. When I go back to Mali, I will be sitting in front of Malick's studio, and people come because he now has become part of the identity of Bamako. You cannot go to Bamako without visiting Malick's studio. It's like a big tourist site. So he's sitting outside, they're drinking tea, and people come from Zurich, from New York, from Paris, from all over the world. And they come, and Malick must be now about 70, I don't know, 2, 3, I don't know. But he will just get up, go to his studio, which is a big mess, by the way, and bring negatives and give it to them and say, yeah, well, look at it. You can take it. If you like something, come back. He's giving away so many negatives like that to people who visit him for the first time. I said, well, Malick, don't do this. This is really crazy. He said, oh, no, don't worry. They're good people. He just is a wonderful person in that sense, but at the same time, it will cost us because we do not have those negatives that are lost. Malick Sidibé doesn't even think they're lost. He thinks that the people will one day remember, they will send them back. I think his generosity is really what's very striking. Last time I went to his place, he was a little saddened because he said to me, they bought everything. They bought everything. Even the albums that I had, they're all gone now. Once the American discovered him, they just went and just cleaned up the place. He said they bought everything. Artists feel like they're only important if people say that they're political. Well, Malick was not. Malick wanted people to be happy. I guess that's political. He wanted people to enjoy themselves. Malick let people live their lives. Because Malick said, at the end of the day, it's only life. There is only life that's left. Life is the only thing.